Imagine a mansion so grand that its walls seemed to whisper secrets, yet inside it lived a man so feared that no maid in the city lasted more than a day. People spoke of him in hushed tones, the disabled billionaire with the temper, they called him. And tonight, I'm going to tell you how one unexpected person not only lasted, but made him plead for her to stay. If you feel your heart stir even a little in this journey, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's step inside a story that might just change how you see people forever. It all began on a rainy Monday morning when Anna stood at the tall black gates of the Langford estate, clutching a folded piece of paper in her trembling hands. A single mother, she had been searching desperately for work. Her rent was 2 months overdue, her little boy's shoes had holes in them, and the fridge at home was empty except for a jug of water. The agency's warning echoed in her head, you won't last a day there. No one does. The billionaire's name was Alexander Langford. Once a decorated soldier, a car accident years ago had left him paralyzed from the waist down. The injury had stolen not just his ability to walk, but also the warmth from his voice. Staff claimed he was impossible, quick to anger, impossible to please, and cold to the core. But Anna didn't have the luxury of choice. When she first stepped inside, the mansion felt less like a home and more like a museum. Everything was pristine and silent, except for the rhythmic ticking of an enormous grandfather clock. She was shown to the library where Alexander sat, his wheelchair positioned near the window. His eyes were sharp, his jaw tense. You won't last, he said flatly, without even looking at her. I'll try, she replied quietly, meeting his gaze. The first hours were a test of patience. Alexander barked orders, some unreasonable, and criticized everything she did. She moved silently through the rooms, dusting shelves, scrubbing the kitchen, serving lunch. But she didn't flinch at his cold tone or impatient sighs. What he didn't know was that Anna had faced worse storms in her life, losing her husband in the army, fighting alone to raise their son, and working night shifts to survive. As the day wore on, a sudden noise broke the tense routine. From the living room came the soft sound of a piano, hesitant notes, out of tune. Anna froze, curious. She followed the sound and found a boy of about 8, sitting at the piano bench, frowning as he pressed the keys. Alexander's nephew, Thomas, who had been living there since his parents' divorce. The boy looked up nervously, expecting to be told to stop. Keep playing, Anna smiled. It sounds beautiful. Her gentle tone startled him, no one in the mansion spoke softly. That moment, unnoticed by Alexander at first, was the start of something neither of them saw coming. By the second day, Anna found subtle ways to make the mansion feel alive again. She opened the curtains in the morning so sunlight would spill in, left fresh flowers on the dining table, and even baked bread in the kitchen, filling the air with a smell Alexander hadn't known in years. He pretended not to care, but she caught him lingering in the doorway one afternoon, eyes closed, breathing in the scent. One rainy evening, she heard a loud crash from Alexander's study. She rushed in to find him struggling to reach a fallen book, his wheelchair stuck against the desk. For a moment, pride and frustration battled in his eyes. She didn't rush to help, instead, she knelt beside him. Would you like me to hand it to you, she asked gently, or would you like to get it yourself? No pity, no panic, just respect. He handed her the book without a word, but something shifted in his gaze that night. Days turned into weeks. Anna learned that Alexander's bitterness came not from his disability, but from the betrayal of friends who had abandoned him when he could no longer walk, and from the guilt of losing men under his command during his time in service. Slowly, through quiet conversations and small acts of trust, she became someone he didn't push away. One afternoon, as she was helping him organize old photographs, he stopped her hand on a picture of a soldier's unit. My best friend, he said softly. Didn't make it home. I was the one driving that day. Anna didn't tell him it wasn't his fault, she just listened. And in that silence, he realized he hadn't truly been heard in years. When her son Jacob visited the mansion one Saturday, Alexander watched from a distance as Anna knelt to tie the boy's shoe, her eyes warm and full of love. That evening, over tea, he said quietly, "You're a good mother. That's rare these days." She smiled. "And you're a better man than you think you are." But their peace was tested one night when Thomas went missing during a storm. The house was in chaos, staff calling the police, panic in every face. Without hesitation, Anna grabbed her coat and searched the estate grounds. She found Thomas in the old garden shed, shivering and crying. She wrapped him in her arms and carried him back. When Alexander saw them at the door, relief flooded his face, and for the first time, he didn't